Well, I don't quite know how we've managed it because we've been wholly unconvincing since the last episode and with a fairly friendly run of games. We've somehow got ourselves back into a title race. Today, though, we go away to the side directly above and below us, and after a few easier games on paper, this will be the real test of whether we're going to meet our objectives this year. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 44 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We are back today as the top three go head to head. We have made it to second with Kashima Antlers. We're ahead of Urawa Reds, today's opponents on goal difference. And then we face Tokyo, who are top by 4 but faltering as we approach the finish line. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on, as we're still without our big target man and now without another star right wing back who is away on international duty, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Remember, the board objectives is to finish in the top 2, and if we lose both of these games today, that will be unlikely. We are still in the All Japan Cup. We've got a chance at a trophy there too. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can produce a miracle and whether we can find a way to unlock the door and get nearer the top of the table, then please do put a thumbs up on it. I should put a little bit of caution at this point and compare to when Kashima won the league 3 years ago. They were actually on 70 points at the end of the year. So if we win these 2 games, in theory we should have won the league. But this season and the other season since have seen significantly higher totals, which is a worry for us. But this is definitely an edge towards harder fixtures, because if we look at what's happened since you were last here, we drew that frustrating game 0-0 at Gifu before another very narrow 1-0 win, this time at home to lowly Nagata, with Kato getting an 84th minute winner. We then won 3-1 against Yokohama in the All Japan Cup, but again we fell behind and had to come back. Suzuki and Matsuo, 2 players who haven't been regulars with crucial goals after Kato got the equaliser. We then played at home to Fukuoka, who was second bottom at the time, took till the 93rd minute to win it. After 89 minutes, we were 2-1 down, but then Tabakovic with a big header and Kostic with a 93rd minute screamer made it 3-2 and turned the game around. We then won 2-1 at last year's champions Kawasaki, who have been absolutely abysmal this year. They're in the bottom half now, I think, yep, 14th, and it looks like they're going to struggle. Leader and Suzuki with late comeback goals there. Before a 5-0 win last time against Kashiwa, another side near the bottom, but finally a dominant display. 5 different scorers too, with Handa, Araki, Kato, Suzuki, and a late goal from Matsuo too. A few youngsters got on to give others a rest there. And now we've got a month between 2 fixtures that are going to define our season. The rest of the games after it, Mashida at home, should be winnable. Of course, a big cup semi-final. But then Sapporo in 8th, Shonan 17th at home, and Yamaguchi 12th away. If we get through these 2 games and we're in a good position, I might start to believe, because generally, while we have drawn a few of them, we've not lost to many teams outside that top third. So let's go and see how we get on in the first of them today. Urawa Reds are the opponents, the dynamics are looking good, the squad is on board bar Brian Haynen, and everything else is looking good. There are some problems as well. The director of football has given a new deal to Watanabe, doubled his wage and a bit more at the age of 31, but either way, he's still a decent player. It's not a big concern. But the rest of it is a little bit thin now, and obviously losing Mitoma to international duty, the best right wing back at the club, not ideal in the circumstances. But Urawa Reds are without a couple as well, and these 2 sides are on the slide. They've allowed us back into it, and we've got a few players finding form, so let's see how we get on today. We are going away from home against a 4-4-2, which we're coming up against a bit more now. Let's see the 11 that I've picked, as 37,000 fans are in. And don't forget, when we joined Yokohama, it was Urawa Reds that rejected us, didn't let us get the job. So hopefully we can get one over on them here and prove them wrong for doing so. I've basically stuck with the team that did so well last week, and that means that despite being fit again, Tabakovic is on the bench. Yuma Suzuki, he's the worst rated striker at the club, but he keeps scoring goals. He's come in the last 5, he got an assist in the first, goal in the second, assist in the third, goal in the fourth, goal in the 5th. He stays in the team. He's basically guaranteed a goal contribution, and we need that at this point. We have got a 16-year-old centre-half on the bench because we're running out of options, but the rest of it's not too bad. So our 11 in full is Bergson in goal, Wader, Ademfal and Watanabe the back three. The wing-back areas is where we've seen the most improvement because Mitoma and Leader have come on leaps and bounds. Of course, the former is not available today because of international honours, so Handa is back in at right wing-back. But Rui Leader is now the best rated player at the club. He's really improved quickly and physically is a monster. In midfield, we've gone for Hainan and Kostic, very experienced in there, and Yasuda has come back not been great. So Kostic stays in the middle where he continues to defy the odds at 35. And then Araki behind the front two of Kato and Suzuki, who recently have been a real goal threat. Fingers crossed that can continue today, because if we win this one, I'm going to start to believe. We've been frustrating. We were awful to watch against Fukuoka, and we've snuck results. Late against Niigata, late against Fukuoka. These are crap teams that we're struggling to beat. But we've got ourselves in a position by, you could argue, winning with the performance of champions, not playing well and sneaking results. Well, can we add to that today? Into the first half we go away at Urawa Reds, and now we're playing teams in real form at the top of the table. Is it going to be more difficult? You would imagine so. Let's see how the first half goes. We're going to drop to balanced. Been playing a bit more aggressively against like Kashiwa and Fukuoka. Hasn't always worked, but it's given us a platform, and it has allowed us to score a few more goals. Here though, I'll probably take 2-0 nils. Maybe Tokyo's the game we've got to win as they're 4 points clear. You can see again, we're having the better of the stats. We're having the early chances, albeit not good enough ones for highlights. We have got a corner now with Hainan. 25 gone, up to the back post and headed away. The ball's away as far as Araki, who's lost it, but managed to keep possession in the end. Handa on halfway though. Inside to Wader. Back to Ademfal and now Kostic. Been okay for him recently because we've only really been playing a game a week, and maybe that's what's helped us, is we've not needed to rely on the squad depth, which isn't as good. As Leader nicks the ball high and he's becoming a superstar. To the byline, across to Araki and Rui Leader. Maybe the director of football was right all along. Maybe we didn't need a new wing back there. Maybe he just needed time. Still don't agree with him on the right-hand side. We've dominated the first half an hour. We're 1-0 up. We've got another corner now with Kostic up to Watanabe. He's given a penalty. We're going to VAR. He's running over to the screen. This could be dreamland. And we could be hitting form just at the right time. Are we doing a Manchester City? Are we going on the big unbeaten run at the end? We said it in the last episode at Gifu when we drew 0-0. It was a frustrating game. But we said it. At least we've kept the unbeaten run going. And we're getting our reward for that now because the penalty has been awarded. It's normally Suzuki, but today it's going to be Filip Kostic, who wouldn't always be playing. Left-footed, steps up, sends the keeper the wrong way. His experience in the team after youth for the first goal. And it's 2-0 to Kashima Antlers. Second place, at the very worst, is being consolidated here. And that will allow us to meet our objectives as Brian Hainan with a free kick. Wouldn't mind seeing the back of him this winter, I've got to be honest with you. Because it doesn't look like we're going to get another job at the minute. If we could sneak a title, would that change everything? Look at the stats, it's been brilliant. But we are vulnerable defensively, and that's a free header at the front post, and the rebound's in. Just not good enough, and I've got to be honest, while we've played really well recently, it is part of the problem with the team I've picked. The back three are big enough, but Leader's smaller at left wing back. Kostic and Hainan in the middle. We've not got that height of Zaruki. We've not got the height up front because neither target man is in the team. So we are losing a bit of aerial prowess, but we'll take it if we keep playing like this. Kato and Suzuki have been scoring goals recently. Neither have just yet. If we can get one of them today, it would be a happy man, as it's a goal kick for the host Urawa Reds. Of course, 2-0 away from home is a dangerous score in FM24. But can we make sure it's not today, as Handa finds Wader? We'll love to restore that 2-goal lead if possible. And Ademfal, lovely ball into Kostic, who turns, finds Araki, and for all of his deficits, Kostic is a fabulous technician, and Leader's got the legs out wide to cover him. Gets the ball in again. It's the same path as the first goal. Rui Leader, take a bow. Araki making a run in behind. He's brilliant. And it's 3-1 Kashima Antlers. I'll be honest with you, a couple of games ago, I was one game away from switching to 4-4-2. putting Kostic ahead of leader, Iraqi out to the right, and going for it the old-fashioned way. But I'm so glad I stuck with it, because these boys are really showing what they can do. As Suzuki gives it away on halfway, he's looking a bit tired now. Might get the target man on for this. As Watanabe, what a tackle. Did I criticise your new deal? Rui leader to Suzuki, back to leader again. The boy's unstoppable down that left. Beats a man, puts it into Kostic. 1-2 with Hainan. Kostic again. Just over the bar. Phenomenal performance. And with 20 to go, we deserve to be ahead as we are. I was about to make changes, but we'll see out this free kick first. Can Hainan put it in the corner? The other man I've criticised today. Wouldn't be a shock if he popped up with a top goal now. We have got players 1 yellow from a suspension, as we're being warned behind my head now. But can Hainan put us in a position to arrest them? Hits the wall, falls for Iraqi on a hat-trick. Oh, what a day to turn up. Ryotaro Iraqi makes it 4-1. With a stunning performance. Who needs to be subbed? Wader is 1 yellow card away. I think we're in a position I can bring on the youngster. I'm going to put him on, switch him with Watanabe. Because this boy, sky's the limit if we get him playing regularly. He's also a good midfielder, but for today, Hainan will get the rest and Yasuda will come on. Kostic will switch sides. Up front, we're going to take off maybe both of them, actually. I know we've got weeks off after. I can bring on Tabakovic. Matsuo has never played up front like this before. But he can do the role, and Iraqi will get a rest for Agawa. 5 changes made at 4-1. I don't think it's too early now. Mitoma will be back by the next game, so Handa doesn't matter. And we've got a month off, so it's not a big problem. What a performance it's been. Just don't throw it away. Fukuoka gets it in midfield for them. Carries the ball forward to Gilerme at left back. Into the box he goes. Great block and we're away again. Filip Kostic bringing it clear. Finds Matsuo up front. Tabakovic in the middle if he can find a cross. Matsuo to the byline. 2 in the middle. Tabakovic is there. It's 5-1. Where has this come from? The last 2 games, out of nowhere, we found unbelievable form. Is this just Urawa Reds collapsing under pressure? Or is this us being brilliant because we've dominated games without scoring the goals? But this is everyone contributing. Matsuo's barely touched the ball this season. He's come in for 3 or 4 games and been a real star. And at 5-1, we look absolutely brilliant. Leader finds Yasuda, finds a Dent foul. Through ball to Agawa, it's almost 6. It's staggering football. I have waited months and months and months to watch the team play like this again. And I tell you what, maybe I criticised them too early. Maybe they were just waiting for the right moment to deliver. The problem, though, as we wait to see the Tokyo result, is now there's expectation on us. Are we going to be able to live up to it? Because people are going to start thinking, maybe they can do it. Maybe they've timed their run. When's Tokyo's game in hand? I need to know this. It is tomorrow away at Yokohama FM, who are 4th. That's a tough game. So let's go through and see the result of that one together. And then we'll get through the month off camera for a big game, which should be between the top 2. Well, here we are awaiting the score from the FC Tokyo game on Saturday. Let's skip ahead and see what it is. Fingers crossed. They've won. Right, this puts the pressure on because while now we are meeting the club vision of finishing in the top 2, when you're this close to the title with this poor a side, you've got to want to do it. The next game is away to Tokyo. If we lose it, the title race is over. That will be 7 points behind with 4 to go. A draw is the minimum requirement. A win is probably needed. They won it in the 95th minute. That's fair play to them, you've got to say. Let's see how we get on this time. Back in a moment, a month later, to see how we get on in a top 2 clash. Well, some big news. With us out of contract at the end of the season, we've been offered a new 2-year deal, but more importantly, with a significant pay rise as well, an extra 50 grand a year up front. I'm going to try and get it up a whole other grand, to be honest, and see if we can. They've pushed up a little bit to begin with. Where will we get to? 6 grand a week? They've agreed it. It's a 600 grand contract for 2 years. I don't think we can turn that down. Yes, it may mean we struggle to move on a bit more, but it gives us the financial security that we can resign for another job. And let's be honest, we're 5 years into a save, and we're in a title race in Japan with a side that's competed in continental football. It's not all going that badly, is it? So let's see how we get on the rest of this year. We'll be back in a moment to face Tokyo, the leaders. Well, I've left the one message on the screen as we've got another notification halfway between our new contract and our second game. We have unfortunately got a bit of an injury crisis, which we'll deal with next week when we get to match time. But for now, it's time for a new youth intake. And after signing a new contract and committing, it would be lovely if this was good. Let's see. It's okay. There's one player who might make it, Genta Ishii, who as a backup right wing back could be an option in the next year or two. Yuta Fujita is not good enough and doesn't play our style, and nobody else is good enough. So one potential that might make it, but nothing that helps us now. Let's get through to next week for FC Tokyo. Well, to be honest with you, I'm actually speechless at this point. We've gone 4 weeks without playing. We've managed to pick up 9 injuries, some season ending, and many players not match fit, as you can see. All 3 goalkeepers have been injured for the majority of the month, and other players just aren't ready for a fitness test at all. I don't even know what squad we can put out today. It's first v second. There's 4 points between us. This should be the big defining game to decide the season. But FC Tokyo, if we go to their squad, have surprise, surprise, got everyone fit except the one player they signed from us because, of course, the injury proneness has to pass on. So Ryota Ishida will not play against his former club today. But look at the state of ours because Bergson is there but not really fit. Riku Handa, out injured. Watanabe, out injured for the season, will miss the cup games as well. Oguchi is still injured. Hidaka's not fully fit. It's a mess. Mitoma is thankfully back from international duty, but has been poor in recent weeks. Is improving massively though. It's still not natural at right wing back, which isn't ideal. Left centre half is the bigger problem because Handa would have dropped in. It's now going to be Asada, who, as much as he's a decent footballer, is nowhere near the standard of the 3 that normally start. I really do worry. I'm going to bring Tabakovic in up front because he did well in recent games. Ogawa's back on the bench. We'll also go for... It's going to have to be either Nakamura as a backup centre-half or Toyoda. I think Nakamura has now overtaken him, so he'll start there. And then again, I'd like another defensive player, but I've got no one who can play wing-back, bar an unfit Handa, really. So I'm going to have to go for Toyoda as the extra defensive option. And I'm not sure I'm thrilled about that. It means the team for today is as close as it can be to what played in the last match and was brilliant away at Urawa. But I've just been flattened by the fact that we've lost half the squad to injury. I mean, 3 injured goalkeepers can't go well, can it? I mean, I'm sure he's going to make a mistake today. We have brought in Asada, we have brought in Mitoma, and we've brought in Tabakovic up front. We're as strong as we can be. Let's see how we get on. First v second, we have to avoid defeat to have any chance in the title race. And if we really want to be favourites, we've probably got to win it. Let's see how we get on in this one against a side that have managed to train without picking up 9 injuries in the last month. As we go through to the first half, how do 3 goalkeepers get injured while not playing football? It is remarkable. Let's skip into the first half. We'll just do what we can. We've had 2 brilliant performances, 5 goals apiece, but now injuries, no football for a month, and apparently grotesque problems with injuries on the training ground means that we're unlikely to be in a good position here, as it is the host coming forward first, and now, I mean, that's outside the box. I can tell you from watching that highlight, it's outside the box, but Rui Leader, our best player, our quickest player, absolutely skinned, can't make the tackle. Free kick given. I'm sure they'll score from it. Oh, why did I sign the new deal? I didn't know everyone was going to get injured. And that Watanabe, don't forget, just signed a new deal with over double his wage. He's in his 30s. He's going to decline big time. But at the moment, half an hour gone. Let's look at the positives. We're doing okay. We'll encourage the lads because the match stats are all right. Why have they got 3 extra players in the box? It's hit the post and thankfully we've got away with it. What is it with set pieces? The instructions get ignored regardless. Kitamori's got a throw on the right-hand side. It's got to the byline. The cross is in. It's off the post again. We've survived the woodwork twice in a minute. We are incredibly fortunate for now. Jar Jar Silver's in again. Ball deflects into the side netting. I have no idea how we're not behind after that passage of play, but we are up the other end with Matoma and Hainan. Lovely 1-2. Chance to cross. Iraqi not making his run this time. It's back as far as Kostic, 30 yards out. Ball's under hit, but Rui Leader will get there. And this is where he's at his strongest. Taking on the fullback. Big ball into Kato. And Matsuki Kato has scored. 1-0 Kashima. And after 4 weeks of utter anger building because of injury after injury, we've got the goal that at the moment as it stands, if we get the league table up, puts us 1 point off the top of the table with a better goal difference. And Tokyo are the side at the moment who are collapsing in the league. If we go up there and we get competition, unless we bottle it when we get to the top, I think we're big favourites. Tokyo have got the match momentum. They've had most of the shots, but they've not had the ones that count. And the woodwork has been our friend so far. Urawa Reds struggling at Mashida, who we've got next. But hang on, it's a Tokyo corner. Tabakovic in there. That's why we've got the target man. It's headed away as far as Silva. Chance to get to the edge of the box. Wild effort from distance. You can do that all day, mate, because you ain't scoring one of them. They're in the double figures for shots, but they're yet to hit the target or test Bergson. And based on his recent injury, that's probably a good job. Now, can we nick a second and do what we did late in the other ones? But you can see the players who have come in have been the weakest on the pitch, and they've been skinned down that side there. As Bergson saves that one. Asada struggling. Matoma struggling. Hainan and Kostic are a bit out of puff at the minute. And it is all FC Tokyo in this second half. And we've been done by the set piece again. I literally went in off camera at half time and put an extra person in the box. And it's the same issue. That's onside. It's going to count. I spent 3 or 4 minutes putting more people in there. Oh my word, it's disallowed. We are hanging by a thread in this game. I have no idea how we're not behind. There's 15 minutes remaining. I'm going to make some subs, but we're limited in what we can do. Hainan is going to be replaced by Ogawa with Kostic switching sides. Tabakovic will come off for Suzuki. And Iraqi will be replaced by Yasuda. Maybe even vice versa there. That's all I can do though. I've got to leave it at 3. We're going to praise the lads because they're somehow winning this match. But I have no idea how we are ahead. And to be fair, Tokyo have not bottled this. They've been fantastic. But somehow we're ahead at the moment. As they come down the right again, it might not last long. This is the one surely. Yuto heads in. It's 1-1 and you've got to be fair. Tokyo deserved that. We held on to the ball under pressure. We got caught. And now as we head into the final 10, we've just got to try and cling on. Look at them. Free header from a set piece. We've collapsed again. Late on, it's almost as if we've got no quality or depth on the bench, isn't it? Who would have thought it? Let's get Matsuo on for Kostic. We'll put him as the number 10. And now, if we could even nick a draw out of this, it would be a miracle. It's been all FC Tokyo. They've deserved to win. And you know what? Over the season, they've probably deserved the title. But the circumstances here, as we've got a penalty, surely. Wade has been pushed and he's been booked now. So next game, we won't have him either. Watanabe, Handa and Wade are all out. How do you get 9 injuries in a month when you're not playing football? It's a remarkable effort. Suzuki steps up from the spot. Oh, you idiot. That 10 seconds sums up the day and sort of is a metaphor for the season. Moments of great promise, followed by the ultimate disappointment. The best performance you'll ever see to start the episode. 9 injuries, including 3 goalkeepers, while not managing to play football. Then throwing away a game like that, and the worst penalty miss at the end from a man who, since I have been at this club, has never missed one. What a way to bottle the title. The gap is 7 points with 4 games to go. We're still ahead of Urawa, and to meet our objectives, we've got to make sure that we finish in second. At the moment, they're 1 down to Mashida. Let's just get to the end of that and quickly see what the score is there before we decide when we're going to be back. Ultimately, though, we're going to meet our objectives, I hope, but we're not going to win the title. It's probably all about the cup now. Urawa did lose, which helps us with the second place and keeping our job comfortable. But let's have a look at the schedule, because There's only 2 games I can really show the rest of this season. I'm going to come back for Vissel Kobe in the semi-final. Sapporo away is the toughest game left. If we're going to slip up, it's that one. So we'll come back to try and reach a cup final and secure second in the league to meet our objectives. And then if we get through, we'll show the final the next time out as well. But if you did enjoy this one, the sublime to the ridiculous, the good, the bad and the ugly, then please do put a thumbs up on it. What a performance at Urawa. What a way to pick up 9 injuries. And what a way to throw away the title in the last 15 minutes of that one. If you want to stay up to date and see if we can make amends in the cup and finally win our first trophy at the top level in Japan, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back with a Southend save tomorrow before this returns in 2 days' time. But in the meantime, you can find the other playlists in the eye above, the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and our latest guide on mentoring too. And I'll see you back here in 2 days as we attempt to recover, hopefully avoid yet more injuries, and make it to a cup final. I'll see you next time to find out if we do.